Hey guys, Ernie here. Welcome to the Paleo Hiker MD channel. It's been a good long while since I've done kind of more of a proper bushcraft overnight. And it's really been since before I even started YouTube, so I've never taken you guys on a trip. Took a little hike behind my house today to a little area that I've set up before with a little fire pit. And I'm gonna make a little camp here tonight, try to stay with relatively minimal gear. This doesn't look like minimal gear, but I'll show you guys what I brought. It is pretty minimal gear. It just looks really big because I've got 2 wool blankets here on the bottom and then this foam pad on top. It's really not tons more other than food, fire making stuff, axe, stuff like that. We'll go through that in a little while. Stay tuned. I hope you guys enjoy this little bushcraft overnighter. Let's have some fun. As we kind of go through, I'll show you guys what I brought. I did bring a foam pad. I've got my Boreal 21 saw up here, which I'm going to get out right now. I've got my GNS Scandi from LT right here on my hip, and I'm going to get my Wetterlings. This is the Les Stroud Wetterlings bush axe. They don't make it anymore. It's a really nice axe though. One thing I'll note is that I have these wool blankets on the bottom. They're attached separate from the actual, even though this is the Deep Woods ruck from the Hidden Woodsman. Awesome bushcraft ruck. Really allows you to bring a lot more stuff if you want to. It's almost empty right now. I'd say it's 50% empty. But if you attach the wool blankets with the straps that attach to the ruck itself, then when you're getting stuff in and out, then your blankets are always going to fall. I just attach them with separate straps. That way they're always on there. They don't fall. It rained really hard yesterday, so I don't want to get everything wet. It's a little tip. We're going to start by getting my tarp set up, and just in case it rains a little bit. And then we're going to build ourselves a little raised bed out here to sleep on tonight. It's a little chilly out here, and I'm a little chilly, but I know that I'm about to get warm, so. This is a new tarp for me. It's the Aqua Quest 10x10. Never used it before. This will be its maiden voyage. Got my Hidden Woodsman Sammy pouch. This is the Joe Robinette edition with some cordage, so let's get this going. I've got a pre-made ridge line out of some paracord and some homemade toggles that I have that should make this pretty simple. So I'm gonna string this up between these 2 trees here, back there, and here. It's a 10-foot tarp, so obviously you want to give at least 10 feet. Let's get out our ridge line. My ridge line always has a bowline knot on one side, which just keeps it, and I can easily loop it around. I have plenty of length here, and on the other side I'll use a taut line hitch. So this taut line hitch is the way to go. I'll make it a little lower so y'all can see it, but basically Joe Robinette has gone over this a bunch of times. It's 2 on the inside, 1 on the outside, so before I tighten it, I'm going to move it up to the level that I want, which is just above my head. Y'all might not be able to see that real good. That taut line hitch holds really well. The rest of this can go around the tree. These toggles are simple. I have an entire video. I'll try to remember to link it down below. Really simple. You just use a pressing knot to attach this to the ridge line, and then you can use the toggle. These happen to be a carbon fiber toggle that I got from a failed project in the past, and they just hold your tarp up perfectly. Well, like I said, this is the first time with this tarp. Heard a lot of good things about the AquaQuest tarp. So 10x10, we're going to use the center toggle, and we're going to drop the back 5 feet behind it, and then we'll put the top 5 feet or the front 5 feet kind of in porch mode. Now if you wonder why I use these toggles, watch the video. I'll link down below about them. It shows you that you know, basically at this point I have the toggles in. If I didn't and I used wooden toggles that I made, which you could totally do, you'll have to loop the ridge line through the tie-out point and then stick the toggle through. It's a real pain. With this, you just slide this over and tighten it up. Same over here. And that is nice and tight, not going anywhere. Ah, excellent. Now we'll work on the back side. Now you could permanently attach these. What I like to do is just give myself a loop of this bank line. See if I can show you guys in frame here. Loop it through, all right? And then just bring everything, including that tag end, through, all the way through. And when you pull it tight, you've got a nice, oh, you guys can see that. Pull it tight, That's not going anywhere, and it's easy, easy, easy to take off. So quickly, here's the back of our tarp. You can see it's nicely set. I don't expect rain tonight, so if I was, I would probably put that all the way to the bottom or try to create something, but it's not going to be too windy, it's not going to be too rainy, so I'm going to leave it up off the ground a little bit like that so that I can walk underneath it. Now there's quite a few ways to attach these fronts. Now I want to put them nice and high. My fire pit is right down here, and I'm not worried. I'm not going to have a huge fire. I'm not worried about it coming up and hitting this. You could string this out and get a post, or you know, like a stick, put it in the ground and string it across and tie it. I'm just going to, I have plenty of trees here in front of me. I'm just going to do the same thing. Get some bank line, tie these off, tie them off some of these little trees. I don't like that. I'm going to fix this side over here. So this side isn't long enough for what I want. So instead of cutting a new piece, I'm just going to show you guys. If you get your end, just tie yourself. I don't know what this is called. You just flip it over. It's part of a trucker's hitch, I know. So you're just creating a loop right there, okay? That loop will act exactly like any other loop. So you'll get this through. Pop it through your loop, okay? Same thing, bring everything, including that tag end, so make sure that tag end is there. Pull this all the way through. Pull it tight. Now you've basically connected these two pieces. They ain't going nowhere, and they're very easy to take apart. Man, 10 by 10 tarps like the Taj Mahal. This is unbelievable in here. Very pleased with this setup. Now I need to work on my raised bed. I wanted to put the tarp up first, just in case two things. First of all, in case it rained, but second of all, I wanted it to help me guide where I put it because I want to be nice and centered. I have no sleeping bag tonight. I have just 2 wool blankets and a pad. So it's going to be interesting. It's not going to be too cold. I think it's going to get down to just around 40 degrees tonight, so not too bad. So let's start working on this raised bed. Been doing a little sawing. I've got this piece here. This is not going to be a permanent raised bed. This is just designed to sleep one night. I don't want to leave a lot of influence back here. So I've got 2 pieces like this. I need to get 1 more piece for the center. We're just going to have a very simple design. We're going to have this piece, another piece on that side similar, and then one in the middle. And then horizontally, we're just going to do long pieces. A lot of times you'll do the slats this way. I'm going to do them long ways just because it's easier. I don't affect the wood as much, and I'll be able to use it later for other things if I want to. And this should work just fine for one night. I'm just looking for something that will support the center so that I don't sag. Next thing we're going to do is on the 4 corners on the outside, we're going to put stakes in to hold these in, but to stop the pieces from falling off the side. These do not have to be super long, so I've got this piece here nice and solid. I'm going to cut this in half roughly and then in fourths. All right, let's double check here. Yeah guys, that's gonna work. These do not have to go super deep. So half of these should work. So what you wanna do here is just get your stakes and 2 things. First, create a little bit of a point on one side so it's easier. Make sure this is off of this junk. Create a little bit of a point, make it easier to pound in the ground. Doesn't have to be amazing, just needs to be decent. Just going around till you get to a point. You can obviously do this with a knife as well. If you don't have an axe, it's just easy. That's a pretty good point. That's going to go in perfect. The other thing I do suggest is on this side, just cut off that for one thing. Just cut off the very bottom, and it hopefully will stop it from splitting. It won't be a big deal in this case because we're not pounding these deep. But if you just buck up the end a little bit like that, it'll go in easier. So there's one stake. It's not very long, and it doesn't need to be, and I'll show you guys why here in a second. Let me make 3 more of these. The sun's coming out, so since the boards are going to sit this way, okay, I'm putting these on the ends like this so that they can't roll off. All right, pretty simple. And you can see why they don't need to be very long. I'm going to put these in, and then I'll go back and I'm going to trim off the tops here so that I don't have any difficulty laying flat. They aren't long, but they're not going anywhere. We're in a little bit of a depression, so I'm wondering if maybe I can just flip this. Oh yeah, and I can do that. Now I have a flat surface here. First thing will be is determining how long we're going to make this. You can see some of these pieces are very long. Might get 2 pieces out of some of these, but I'll also get firewood off of the ends that I can't completely use. This one looks like it might just be long enough on its own. Yep, pretty much. So you can see what I'm going for here. And it's not complete coverage, and I'm not even. Just have to flip these around until they kind of lay as flat as they're going to lay. So that's pretty good right there. I'm happy with that. I'm going to lay this bad boy out. Let's see how that does. Not comfortable, but not too bad. I will have to be careful on this bed because some of these pieces are a little bit punky. I think what I'm going to do is actually I have 2 different, y'all see me? Yeah. I have 2 different wool blankets. I've got a nice wool blanket that's 100% wool, and then I've got kind of an imitation wool. It's probably like 30% wool or something. I think I'm going to put that at the bottom. Let's see, let me show y'all what I'm going to do. I want to be able to use this to lay on, but also as an extra layer in case it gets cold, too cold. And then we'll double this over, and I can either lay on it for comfort or put myself between these 2 layers for extra warmth tonight if needed. There we go. All I need is a pillow. I'll probably get my down jacket. Hopefully I'm not wearing it. Get my down jacket and use it as a pillow. If not, I'll have to find something else because I didn't bring anything else. Man, I got tons of coverage with this 10x10 tarp. Y'all can probably hear trucks on the highway. I'm pretty far away from the highway, but you can still hear them. Our house is probably 1/8 of a mile off of the highway, and I've hiked probably, I don't know, maybe half a mile back, so you know, probably a total of about just over half a mile, maybe 0.6, 0.7 miles away from the highway, and you can still hear it. Yeah, this is gonna work. Fire's right over here. You know, I'm not using the fire for warmth tonight. If I was, I would have a completely different setup. It's only gonna get, like I said, to about 40 degrees. It should be fine. I can layer up and get under these wool blankets. These things are super warm. I'm certainly not gonna die out here. So, should be fun. Now, what I'm gonna do next, I wanna get everything prepared for tonight. It's about 1 o'clock. I've got my camp set up pretty much. So what I'm gonna do now, I have a lot of firewood that's left over from cutting off these pieces. I'm going to process those down, split them in half with my axe, get everything ready for dinner tonight. I'm gonna make a nice fire and cook up a steak tonight, maybe a sweet potato in the coal. It's gonna be really nice. Pretty excited, so let's get going on some firewood processing. I told you guys I think this is a pretty minimal gear trip. You saw what I've brought: tarp with some cordage, 2 wool blankets, and a pad. I've got my titanium canteen cook kit. This is the cordage in one of my Sammy pouches. Got my saw and my axe inside here. I've got gloves, which I haven't even been using. A hat for tonight because it's going to get colder, I'm sure. Got my fire kit. Tinder kit, which I don't even really need. Possibles pouch with creamer, coffee, utensils, stuff like that. I've got titanium fry pan and my Bushcraft grill. That's it, except for, of course, another Sammy pouch full of batteries, SD cards, chargers, etc. So basically, to review, I do think it's fairly minimal. I've got clothes, a tarp, 2 wool blankets, a foam pad, a canteen cook kit, fire kit, Possibles pouch with just general miscellaneous stuff, headlamps, stuff like that. I did bring my lantern, which I showed you guys, a little grill, and a fry pan. That's it. It works. A little bit awkward, but it works. I'd say it's awkward with fairly thin wood. Using that axe, but it works. All right, I've moved on to batoning. That's getting old. This stuff's not super good. So if I want to split it like this, I think batoning it is the way to go. Making a pile of the kind of punky small stuff that I have. I do not want to, you can literally see here, wet, and then it gets dry towards the end here. Look at that. It goes right through, right? And then on this side, it's dry. All right, I'm gonna keep doing this and then we're gonna search for some dry standing. All right, so we've got a score here. Nice big piece. This was off the tree that was down, but this was up off the ground, so it's nice and dry. It's not completely seasoned. It's still a little bit wet, but let's buck this up into smaller pieces and then get our axe out. All right, let's get our axe out. I've got several axes, and the reason I brought this one was for this reason, hoping that I would find a bigger piece that I would have to cut. And it's a lot easier with an axe that's a little bit bigger. Let's see how this goes here. Let me back off. Oh yeah. I've said it before here on the channel, but when I was a kid, we used to go cut our own wood, and I had to split most of it. And I ain't gonna lie, I love doing it. Oh, that wasn't good. Let's try that again. That's better. Go. Wish me luck. Oh yeah, that's a good one. There we go. Little tip, guys, if you can't get it to go straight on there. Just put it along the side and just be real careful. And you'll be fine. All right, let me organize my wood and I'll show you what we got. Okay, I'm about to run out of battery, but I'll show you guys real quick what I got for wood. We've got the larger pieces from the dry maple that'll keep fire going tonight. I've got smaller pieces from that same maple that, you know, little offcuts that I didn't cut as good. Then we've got bigger pieces from the stuff that I cut earlier, smaller pieces from what I cut earlier. Then I collected some pencil stuff and a bunch of pencil lead type stuff, little bitty stuff. This will get my fire going, no problem whatsoever. Plan tonight is to cook dinner, like I said, and I'm probably gonna cook it fairly early, and then I have my lantern, I can read, do whatever I want tonight. In fact, it's still fairly early, and I'm just gonna relax here in a little while, shut the camera off, and charge some batteries. Before we do that, I'm gonna put together the cooking area for you guys so you can see how it's gonna work. So we're gonna be using our Bushcraft grills. There's 2 in here from Expedition Research. I'll show you guys. Got the big one and the small one. I like to use the small one sometimes to set my canteen cup on. I may or may not, but we'll leave them out here. And then I also have for breakfast in the morning. I do need to have enough wood for breakfast in the morning. If not, I'll collect some real quick in the morning because it won't take long. But I'm gonna make some food with my brand new titanium fry pan. Pretty solid, just like that. This is from Keith Titanium, same company that made the canteen cup that I use. Also brought a little titanium. This is from Snow Peak, I believe, a little titanium plate. Sometimes I'll use that. What we'll do is get a lot of this junk out of here. This is, like I said earlier, a fire pit that I made out here in the woods. So what I'd like to do is create an area maybe in the front right here where I can have my grill, where I can make my steak. And what we'll do is we'll make our fire, we'll get a nice bed of coals, we'll slide some of the coals over to cook our steak, we'll put our potato here in the coals. So what we want is something over here that will hold our steak. I always have a couple of extra rocks here. Perfect, just like that. So our steak will cook right here. That's the plan for tonight though. Make a nice fire. After I get some coals, I'll start cooking, and then I'll use some of the bigger stuff to keep the fire going and enjoy my night. Just a little bit of work tires you out, no doubt. Tell you what, guys, I got a couple of hours, and I really don't want to start my fire till it's getting close to dark, because it gets dark so early here. I don't want to like be 6 o'clock and have nothing to do, because it's going to be a long night. So I'm going to take a chance, take a little nap here, just rest. I'm going to take 2 or 3 hours to myself. It's quiet. I'm by myself. Never really have that opportunity. Might do a little planning. It's always nice to do a little planning. I got a little journal in there. I didn't show you guys 2 things, my little journal, and then of course I got food. I forgot to show you in the side pouch there. I got my food. Nonetheless, I think I'm going to take a break, and I'll catch up with you guys probably about 3 hours or so, and we'll be ready to hopefully get the fire going and cook up a steak. This really is not that uncomfortable. It's just not. That foam pad makes a difference. I don't feel anything bad. I'm gonna sleep like a champ. It's been a nice couple of hours here, guys. I really want a cup of coffee, and I even brought my decaf so that I wouldn't get too amped up tonight and not be able to sleep. But I really didn't want to start a fire yet. But I was looking through my Possibles pouch, and I forgot that I have my Firebox Nano. So I'm going to boil up a little bit of water and make some coffee. Still going even though I dropped it. It's pretty cool. Let's put this on top here. Just grab all the little stuff I can from the side here that's fallen. I'll just pop it on. And just let the fire plug do the work. Next thing I'm going to do, guys, I'm just going to slide over the legs before it gets too hot here, and that will allow me to use my canteen cup. All right, we're going to get ourselves a stick here. I'm just going to move this down, and we're going to pop our water on, start getting it going. It's a smoke, but that's because a lot of this stuff, of course, is fairly wet. But we'll get this going before you know it and get ourselves some coffee brewing. Well, not really brewing, it's just instant coffee, but you get what I mean. I think we're just about ready. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we got some boiling water. Make sure this isn't too hot. Pull this off. Put it right here. And guys, this is decaf. I try to drink decaf after about 1 o'clock. In case you don't know, I'm a internal medicine and sleep doctor, so definitely don't drink caffeine too late in the day. Oh yeah, I got some coffee now, folks. I always try to keep everything together so I don't lose anything. That's why I love these Possibles pouches from Malcolm at the Hidden Woodsman. That is so what I needed. I think I took a nap for like an hour maybe. That's good stuff. All right, it's about 5 o'clock and starting to get a little bit chilly, so let me get my Possibles pouch out, my fire kit. I'll find my hat too. Hat'll keep me warm. Put on my down jacket here in a little bit, but I'm gonna get the fire going because I want to get it down the coals. It's probably gonna take maybe an hour to get it where I want it to be, so that I can cook. It should be dark by then. Sun's just going over the trees here. It's supposed to get dark in about 45 minutes or so. So let's get this rolling, get our fire going. Got my food out too, guys. I have made a fire on this channel a million times, but I'll just show you guys real quick. I always put a couple of pieces like this just to keep the fire that I light up off of everything that I put on it. I'm gonna be grabbing this big old thing here and popping it right on top, and I want to do that in a way where it won't smother that bottom piece. Cypress here, and I've got some birch. This is just birch shavings that I actually got inside of the box for the cooksa that I bought. So I'm just going to put this right here. That should go up like a champ. What I'm going to do is try to get this little curl lit right here, and then I'll pop it on. So let's see if I can just put my fire still straight into it. It'll allow me to control things a lot better. There we go. Oh, almost. Let's see. I think it's gonna go. Waiting. There it goes. Move it over. Right into the center here. Doing that allows things to be a lot more controlled as opposed to trying to just put your fire steel in the middle there. It's just going to explode everywhere. All right, let's get this on top here. I'm just going to hold it over until we start to get things going. There we go. You want to let this really go and get above this stage, and then we're going to move in with our pencil stuff. We really want to get a nice hot bed of coals here. All right, let's put some of these on top. Again, I'm going to try to save a little bit of each stage for the morning, so that's probably all I'll do, and I'll save these for the morning. You might be able to see some of the moisture coming out, not really well. Whoa! Totally almost just caught my dead cat on fire. If y'all know dead cat, that's the thing that covers your microphone, not an actual dead cat. See that water just coming out. That's what we're dealing with. These trees have been down for a while, so anyway. I'm gonna let this go real well and then start to get, I've left just a little bit of each stage except for the small stuff, which I'll collect some in the morning. That's easy to get. I don't have to really process it, I just have to pick it up and get it together. But don't need my fire kit anymore, so we'll put that up. Always try to keep putting things up so I don't lose them. This is going, but it is not, in my opinion, established. It's just, there's so much moisture. I think if I can get through this stage and get to my dry maple, we'll be good to go. I think it's maple. Look, I'm no expert. It was on the ground. I think it was maple. I have another stage, but I'm gonna go ahead and put this drier material right on top just to see. I'm even gonna lift this up a little bit and put it down in the coals here to let that get going. And I think that if I can get some of that drier material going, that'll be a good thing. Here we go. Trying to mix a little bit of the dry stuff with the not dry stuff, keep it rolling. Looks pretty good so far. We'll see. I'll let this sit here. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, let's get some food ready because I want to go ahead and season my steak. This is the steak I'm going to use right here. It is a flat iron steak, which is one of my favorite types of steak. Put it right on top here. Nice big hunk of meat. I've got some Montreal steak seasoning here. And I'll just put it back in the baggie. Oh man, there's mosquitoes. I mean, I have a fire going and there's still mosquitoes. Unbelievable. All right, we're gonna leave that right there. Let's get our potato and just put it in the side here. All right, we're rolling now. We get some of the dry material, put it right on top. It's gonna be a pretty long night since it goes dark around 6 o'clock if I don't have plenty of wood to burn. Once the fire goes out, it's kind of like the party's over. I'm just gonna put this right here, let it start warming up. It's probably not gonna get much in the way of heat, but it'll get some. I'm just gonna let this burn down. This is gonna be hopefully my main coal base. Once it burns down the coals really good, then I'm gonna move some of the coals over into this cooking area where I'll cook my steak and hopefully let my potato continue to cook. So we'll see what happens. My steak may be done before my potato. I'm hungry. I ain't worried about it. Cameras these days do an amazing job of making it look light, but I'm gonna get my headlamp on because it's starting to get pretty dark, even though it looks pretty light. Starting to get pretty dark, so I've got my headlamp just in case. And then tonight, later on, I will light my little lantern here. It's a pretty cool little UCO lantern. Did a video on it. Check it out. All right, you can see definitely things are starting to get down the coals. We're just going to move this over. I'm going to move my potato a little closer here. Get a glove. Make this smart. All right, there we go. We're going to put that right there. And it's surrounded with some coals. This is continuing to go down. Okay, so this is where we're gonna cook our steak. Things are pretty good over here. We're gonna try to avoid things. We're gonna get as much of this over here as we can. Nice chunks here, right underneath our steak. We still have plenty back over there. I'm gonna go ahead and put this over the top here. Let me move y'all so y'all can see. All right, hopefully y'all can see a little better there. We'll put our potato right there, and we're going to add some pieces of our dry wood here. Let's check and see how hot this is. Yeah, it's pretty hot. We're going to get as much of these coals over here as we can into our little spot here. Plenty of heat there. Let's get our steak on here. A little bit of a sizzle. It'll take a little while to get it cooked, but as we continue to feed the fire over here, we can get more coals and shove them underneath there. Luckily, I like my steak very rare, so we're gonna be just fine. Plenty of coals underneath the steak. Don't really want to light them too much because you'll get a lot of flare up. You just want to let the heat slowly cook it. It's amazing how light this camera makes it look because it's pretty dark. We're gonna just flip this over. Starting to get a little bit of browning. People have asked me about this before. This is the meat fork from the Hidden Woodsman. I don't think Malcolm actually makes or sells these anymore, so you'd have to try to pick them up secondhand, but man, it's awesome. It's starting to smell some kind of good up in here. One of the things I love about this meat fork is you can grab it with grill plate. Just pull it off. Just gonna bring in our coals here. Make sure we still got good coalage, which we do. Put that right there. We're gonna flip this over. Getting some nice sizzle action. Woo! Now watch it. I have definitely flipped off my steak into the coals more than once. Might have done it just a second ago. Maybe. Definitely hot enough now that I can add some of the less optimal wood, and it's going to go just fine. I think that was an owl, but I don't know for sure. I went ahead and collected some small stuff for the morning just to make my life easier. So I'll probably be a little bit sleep deprived after a night under a wool blanket, 40 degrees. So that sweet potato's in the middle of this inferno, so we'll see what happens with it. It's in there. Should be all right. Hope it's cooking all right. It cooked pretty quick in there, I think, right? Not quite what I was planning on doing with it, but I kind of forgot about it, and now it's in the middle there, so we'll see what happens. We are getting some sizzlage now. A little bit of blood coming out of the top. This thing is almost ready. Oh yeah, there we go. Gonna let it maybe another 2 or 3 minutes, and then it's steak time. Then we'll have to see what happens with our potato. I'm not sure. We'll see what happens. All right, we're gonna get this steak here. It looks good. Put that right there. See if I can find the potato. Let's just move some of this. There it is. Pull it out here. I think that bad boy's done, guys. I think it is done. Oh yeah, it's done. Okay, so I'm gonna use my headlamp here for you guys. Always carry my open L. It's nice to eat with. Oh yeah, it's slightly hard, but it is just fine. Let's give it a try here. That's good. Let's look at our steak. Overdone for my liking, but it usually is when I cook it over an open flame. It's hard to tell. Oh, it looks tender though, doesn't it? Oh, nice. Let's give this a try here. Man. That's good. That is so good. Hard to eat and keep my light right here for you guys. That's good stuff. All right, I'm gonna eat. Check in with y'all a little bit. Well, let's just say that, yeah, that was good. That was really good. Score 1 for me. Oh man, I have no idea if that's in focus or not, but I can tell you this, it's getting dark. This is the part of the video where I don't have a lot of plans because it's dark. I don't think you guys want to sit here and watch me read or something like that. So I'm gonna spend the next couple hours chilling, feeding the fire a little bit, And I'll check in with you guys before I go to bed. It'll be nice and dark. It's only about 6:30 right now, so I'm gonna try to make it till about 8:30 and get up nice and early. So I'll check in with you guys in a little while before we go to bed. All right, guys, I am going to try to get to sleep here. Get my shoes off. Got my little light up here. Turn that off here in a second. Got my hat here too. Head's a little bit warm right now, so I'll put it on. Just gonna take my shoes off. Basically, took my knife off. Gonna get underneath this blanket here. No shoes. And no pillow for now. So I'm gonna wear this. If it's warm enough, then I might take it off. But I've been hanging out tonight. It's about 8:30. It's pretty early, but I'm pretty tired. So I'm gonna get to bed and get up nice and early for you guys. We're gonna make some, make sure you stay tuned, because we're gonna make some breakfast in the morning. We're gonna make some eggs, potatoes, and bacon. So, tired. Let's see how this feels. Oh, it's not bad. It's gonna be a long night, but we'll make it. There's worse things in the world, right? The problem is I gotta go turn off that light now, so. Night, guys. Okay. Maybe this will work. Oh, there we go. There we go. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh man, guys. It got really cold last night. I looked at my phone at like 4 o'clock and it was 35 degrees. It's supposed to be 43, 44. That's a big difference. I was alright, but it was cold. I didn't sleep very good. I probably got up at like 5. It was dark. And spent a little time on my phone just planning some things. You know, your brain just goes. My nose is like sore, it's cold. I know that 35 degrees doesn't sound cold to a lot of you people out there who live in the very cold areas of this world. But I'm from Louisiana. I'm also Puerto Rican. Full blood. And if I'm prepared, so be it. But, you know, 44 degrees, I was planning 44, 45 degrees. Alright, so maybe they missed from 45 to maybe 40, but 34, 35. I mean, things are frosted over for the most part this morning. Recap the night. Really, really cold. Pretty uncomfortable on this bed. Wasn't terrible, but I had to sleep mainly on my back, which I don't do normally, because on my sides, my hips would smash into the wood, and it wasn't comfortable. So I slept mainly on my back, which was okay. It was warm enough under the blankets. I ended up getting underneath both wool blankets. I was able to take off my down jacket and use it as a pillow as long as I stayed really, really close. I did that till about 5 o'clock. Yeah, 5 o'clock when I got up with my phone and I was out. My arms were out, so I put on my jacket. Hat was on all night. It was cold. Cold and uncomfortable, but I survived. Got coffee, which is good. I'm letting this go down to really low embers so that I can cook my breakfast. I'm just going to do some eggs with bacon and probably just going to use one of these 2 potatoes, I think. It's almost down. I'm going to move some of the bigger stuff over and sure is nice. Can't see the road, but I sure can hear it. So while this is cooking, I'm going to start getting some of this stuff put away. Yeah, I'm going to start with the tarp. I'm definitely going to have to set it out when I get home because it's wet. What I actually did, guys, was I did my taut line hitch and I tied off my ridge line to another pole, and I basically moved it over to expose my bed. Let me show you guys why I did that. I don't know if you guys can see, but it is just dripping moisture. So I'm just going to let it hang instead of putting it away. Let it hang and drip, and I'll put the rest of the stuff away before I mess with the tarp. I'm going to see if I can let the sun come up. The sun is just starting to come up. You can see my reflection there. The sun is just starting to come up. This is a lot wider than when I came in, but I'm gonna leave these out when I get home and just let them dry real good, so I'm not gonna worry too much about if they're too wide. Once again, I used a separate set of straps. Look at that glorious sun coming out. separate set of straps for my blankets at the bottom, because that way I can have it on there and do the stuff up top and not worry about dropping it all the time and getting wet. These super inexpensive mats from Walmart or wherever are nice for stuff like this, because they get all dirty, poked up, it don't matter. Tell you what, guys, I am calling an audible today because this looks really good, and I am not going to add my eggs because I'm feeling like just potatoes and bacon. That just looks really good this morning, so let's get this over here and eat it. Just noticing, guys, I had 2 casualties last night. There is one stick that broke, and obviously another stick that broke. Is there another one? No, that's it. Obviously I shifted around quite a bit in lack of comfort. Yeah, you know, I don't know. I just didn't feel like the eggs this morning. These potatoes look good just the way they are. And they are good. Oh yeah. Potatoes and bacon. As good as it gets. Only issue, major issue, I didn't bring a 3rd coffee. So, all I got's water. So when I do these overnighters, I've usually done an after the hike and video kind of basically talking about how it went and some of the lessons I learned and things that I would do differently. And we're definitely going to do an after the camp this time, so stay tuned for that soon. You know, I always look back and reflect on my night, how it went, what I could have done differently, what maybe I did right, what maybe I did wrong, and hopes that maybe it'll help you guys. So a lot of the comments I get are just about people who are wanting to get outdoors and start doing things. And I figure learning from my mistakes or successes is good. I am not a outdoors expert or an outdoors bushcraft expert. I'm a doctor. That's all I got. I come out here to have some fun. I froze my tail off last night, half a mile from my bed. Don't think I didn't think about it. It really wasn't that bad. It just wasn't comfortable. I guess that's just part of life sometimes, you know. The things that you enjoy and the things that you get the most out of aren't always comfortable. You're pushed to your limits, and ultimately that's what these things are all about. But I'm going to finish packing up, enjoy the rest of my morning as the sun comes up, wishing I had another coffee. There we go. Tell y'all what I'm going to do. Since I am close to my house, and this is pretty wet, it's already starting to dry off. Really don't want to pack it up wet, so I'm going to go ahead and head back to the house today, and then this afternoon I got some stuff I want to get done today. It's still dripping pretty good, and I could pack it up, but I have the option of coming back to get it later. So it's supposed to be a beautiful day today, so I don't mind a little mile round trip to come back to get it this afternoon. So I'm going to let it dry. As the sun comes up, I'll give it a couple of hours and then put it away. So our little bushcraft adventure here behind my house comes to an end. Appreciate everybody joining me. I hadn't done this in a while, so I thought it would be good to come out here behind the house in case anything, I don't know, did go wrong or I was too cold. I could head back. I'm pretty comfortable now that I could do this. So the next time we'll be out in the woods. I've got a couple of different ideas as to where to go. This is out in the woods, but it's certainly not remote or anything like that. Really appreciate everybody checking out the channel. It's a lot of fun to do these videos, and I still got a couple months left of decently cold weather here in Louisiana, so going to take advantage of that. Like I said, stay tuned. I'm going to have all kinds of new content coming from a trip up to Arkansas soon. Also a couple of new series related to coffee and cooking, different things like that. Hope you guys enjoy those things as well. I'm gonna head back to the house, take a shower, get some stuff done today. Do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already, it really helps if you hit the thumbs up down below. It helps spread things across YouTube. And if you're not subscribed already, make sure you do subscribe for more overnighters as well as gear reviews and stuff like that. If you want to be absolutely sure you don't miss any videos, hit the ding dong bell. And yeah, as always, stay tuned for more videos here on Paleo Hiker MD.